named MJ as your captain for the season. He's really earned that. What was your decision behind that?
Look, his longevity at the club, which sounds strange because he's still a young player within our ranks. His attitude, not to come through adversity, but to wait for his opportunity and then seize that opportunity. Certainly last season, where he was player of the season by an absolute mile. Got a fantastic return in terms of his goal return, but also in terms of his performances last season, and a really good influence within that change room as well. It's a role we feel he can grow into, and as he matures with this team as well, then it's something which we feel is added responsibility to his game, and he's certainly a player we feel can handle that.
Obviously, he's been at the club for a long time. He's one of our own from the academy. His hard work and his commitment to the club, but this is really a result of that, isn't it?
It is, but it's also a result of his upbringing. So credit goes to his family first and foremost, and to MJ. What a good character. Anyone who's spent any time in his company knows what he's like as a lad. And I'm really pleased that he's still with us. Really pleased that he's now got this leadership role within this group of players, and it's very much a case of seeing where he wants to take this role. I want these players to shape the team any way they see fit, and I want MJ to shape that role of captaincy any way he feels.
When we spoke to MJ earlier, he mentioned the likes of Jordan Montailer and Archie Collins when he's taken the armband. It's that list of academy players that have gone on to captain the side. Yeah,
definitely. And like me and MJ got a history as well. So when I first came back to the club and took the 23s, within that role, he was captain of that group as well. So even then, there was a maturity about his personality and a maturity about his game as well, which is absolutely key because we've still got a lot of young lads and a lot of young players within our ranks, where there's still uncertainty and still a bit of inconsistency. But MJ is certainly one whose game we can rely on, and he was so steady last season in his body and in his mind as well, and he's durable as well. That's always an aspect you've got to think about as a manager when you're picking your captain, someone who's durable. Touch wood, MJ doesn't pick up too many injuries, and he was available for the majority of last season. So like I say, it's a role which is absolutely key, one which you've just mentioned there, some previous captains through our academy, and MJ joins that list.
He also mentioned that while he's looking to make the position his own, he's also going to take a lot of what he learned watching Jake Taylor last season, and obviously he was a brilliant captain for us as well. Yeah,
fantastic. And we just mentioned it there, the work we do within the community, player appearances, meeting the fans, interacting with the fans, communicating with the fans, something we feel MJ will do and do really well. And like you mentioned previously, for someone who's been at this club for such a long period of time and come through each and every age group within our academy, fantastic testament to the academy first and foremost, but also to his own pathway. And he's had to be patient within that first team opportunity, but it's not just about football in terms of captaincy of this football club. It always means a little bit more, and that interaction with the fans will be absolutely key.
And he's also already had a taste of being a captain in pre-season as well.
Yeah, definitely, and his form's still pretty good as well. What a fantastic goal at the weekend. Scored in the last 3 outings in terms of pre-season. So picked up where he left off last season. Last season was a real sort of slog for MJ and a lot of the players within this group. So we hope this season will feel slightly differently, certainly in terms of the physical aspects of the demands of the schedule. But we're looking forward to seeing if MJ can improve his game. And like I say, having this added responsibility of the captaincy will hopefully give him a bit more sort of responsibility within that role, and his game might improve on top of that as well.
Matt, we've welcomed Jonathan Grounds to the club, a really experienced defender, and it looks like he could be a really good signing.
Yeah, you mentioned that word experienced, something we're a little bit short of in terms of the makeup and the DNA of our squad and our team at this moment. So really important we added a little bit of experience, not just to the back line but to the rest of the group. Someone who's had a fantastic career and generally played at a higher level throughout his career. So he'll add an awful lot to what is a young group of men at this moment in time. But we've got to get him out on the pitch, we've got to get him fit first and foremost. He's obviously missed the first 4 weeks of pre-season, so we'll build him up over the next couple of weeks to try and get him limited game time to start with, but try and get him ready for the start of the season, and hopefully he'll come in and affect the team in a positive way.
Of course, he's someone that's played at all 4 levels in the Football League and played in the Premier League with Middlesbrough as well, so obviously that's going to be massively valuable for us.
It is, and he's got to add to this group. There's a reason why we brought him in. His age is of such that he might not play every minute of every single game, and that might not train every single day. I know he wants to get into the coaching side of things as well, and there's no better place to dip your foot in the water in relation to that. But there's got to be a playing value first and foremost, and hopefully we'll see it today when he trains with this group of players. That extra quality, extra control that he'll bring from his experience and his understanding of the game. But we'll be in the chaos of League Two in 2 weeks' time, and mature heads who've been there time and time again, and he certainly fits that bill. So we're really pleased he's signed for the football club, but we still want him to have an impact both on the playing and in the change room. We mentioned about MJ taking the captaincy and Piers supporting that. I've brought Jonathan in to help that change room as well.
You mentioned obviously he hopes to get into coaching, but on the pitch, I guess you see him as a mentor as well, especially for the younger lads.
Yeah, definitely. We'd name half the team, if not 3/4 of the team, who need to learn off their peers, so to speak. And certainly when we lost Jake Taylor and Nicky Law, 2 players who our young ones could really learn off on a daily basis, not just in terms of playing, but the way they conduct themselves as well. So we've always tried to do it. I've certainly tried to do it as manager, bringing some experienced members of the squad who the young ones can look up to. See how they conduct themselves in terms of the diet, hydration, what they do in the gym, how they look after themselves in terms of injuries, and how they train as well. On top of that playing aspect, so much good to learn from, and so much experience to delve into. And if he can have any impact on those players around him, first and foremost, that's a real positive. But also the players coming through.
And it's squad depth as well, isn't it? It's another player for that position.
Yeah, one which we needed, obviously on the departure at Tom Parks, we needed to support Alex in terms of a left-footed defender. We've got really good options in terms of that back line. We'll be flexible in terms of playing a back 3, back 5 or even a back 4 at times this season. And we've got a lot of players who can fit the bill in terms of different positions. And he'll fit into our ways. He's a footballer. Like I say, he's got a physical aspect to him, like all defenders have, but he likes to play football of a certain way, and he'll fit into our ways really well.
And finally then, looking ahead to our final pre-season games, I think in terms of stature, Cardiff was on paper the toughest test we're facing. We've got another tough test against Bristol City, and then a similar side in Shrewsbury.
Yeah, look, we've still got 3 more games, and we expect it to be a young Bristol City team tomorrow, and we'll be putting a young team out as well. But Tim Diang will get some game time. Ben Seymour's had a bit of a niggle last week, got some game time at the weekend, but we'll get more game time. It's all about getting those minutes under the belt, ready for that first game of the season. If we get them boys one step closer to Shrewsbury, hopefully they'll feature in that, and then we've got another game the following Tuesday, just to top it off. So we've worked really hard to get so many games in place to basically get all players in a position to be able to feature for a long period of time on that first game of the season. Everyone will be at slightly different stages, but that's certainly what we're aiming towards. And the next one's always the biggest one. As much as we were pleased with the performance at Cardiff on Saturday, we're already looking forward to tomorrow's game. And then it'll be Saturday after that. And to play at the Park, it doesn't feel like it was too long ago where we played the last game of the season there against Barrow. But we've got a lot of new members of the squad, and a lot of the young ones stepping up, and a new surface as well to play on. So we've got to get used to our home environment, so to speak, and we'll do that Friday with a little training session at the Park, and then on Saturday in terms of the game, and then the following week, apart from the Tuesday game, is all about building up towards Bradford.
I say it's so important that the players get used to that pitch, the new surface, before that Bradford game. Yeah,
but they also got used to going to the stadium with fans. Some people have not had for such a long period of time, and still a little bit of uncertainty in terms of what that looks and feels like. And that's the biggest message I've been putting into my players this pre-season, how different the league campaign will feel. Not just in terms of the amount of games and the quick succession of the games, but the games will feel totally different. Games with atmosphere, hopefully positive atmospheres when we get to the Park, but it'll be difficult when we go away from home. It'll be difficult in some games where referees get affected, and some of our young players will obviously get affected as well. Hence, one of the signings we've brought in is a bit more added experience. But we're looking forward to what this campaign looks like and what this campaign holds. And as much as the fans won't be there this weekend, we're looking forward to seeing them the following weekend.